Oh, I'm so glad I caught you before you headed out for work. I have such wonderful news. Mary Lynn and Wade are going to finally tie the knot next Wednesday.
That is great! I can't believe she didn't call me. Wait a minute. How does Tom feel about this?
Oh, but that's worked out perfectly. They settled their differences with Tom, and he has given them his blessing. And I'm so touched they've asked me to help organize the whole event, which brings me to why I'm here. I would just love to give Mary Lynn a bridal shower, but I'm not sure kids these days are into that kind of tradition. You're her best friend. I just thought maybe you could tell me if she'd enjoy something like that.
Oh, I am sure she would love that. But can I make another suggestion?
Sure.
Well, why don't we give a huge surprise party down at Stars for both Wade and Mary Lynn? That way we can invite all their friends.
That's a terrific idea. Will you work it out with Rod?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's no problem. He's in London on business. But once he finds out we're going to have a big party, I'm sure he'll want to be back in time to help celebrate.
Yes, operator. I would like to make a transatlantic call, please, to Landview, Pennsylvania. Never mind. Thanks anyway.
Come in.
Lord Henry.
I've come to find out if you've given due consideration to our last conversation.
What conversation? You bellowed and I listened.
Your sarcasm is inappropriate, Robert.
Sorry. I don't like being threatened. I'm funny that way.
I assure you, I'm not particularly fond of making threats. I am accustomed to dealing with men of their word. You promised to marry my daughter, and I intend to see that you do.
I can't believe this. You'd force me into a marriage I don't want?
I am not the least bit moved by what you want. Only Joanna's desires interest me. And for some reason, obviously known only to herself, she wants you for a husband.
Thanks for your vote of confidence.
This is an arrangement initiated by your father. And I fully intend to see that Joanna's wedding plans for the end of this month are carried out. I will not have her disappointed by the absence of a groom. Do I make myself clear?
Any activity? No, sir. Just the regular staff making rounds. Damn, I was hoping Vasquez would take the bait by now. Check his equipment. It's off. She's alive. Listen, seal off the entrances and exits. I don't want anyone in or out of this hospital unless it's cleared with me. Sir. Someone just shut off Steve Holden's life support equipment.
What's going on?
Everything's under control. Stay in your room.
Did Vasquez make his move?
I said stay in your rooms.
Blue, code blue, I see you, number 7, Dr. Brady.
Mrs. Holden, you really shouldn't be here.
I was going to see him as my husband. Good heavens.
What is it?
Your brother's alive. He's breathing on his own.
What do you mean he's still breathing? Are you sure he's not dying?
Max, will you please wait outside with Gabrielle?
I'm not going anywhere till I know Steve's okay.
He's breathing regularly at a normal rate. Now we can remove his endotracheal tube.
What's the trouble? What's going on?
Start combing the floor for Vasquez. He couldn't have gotten far.
Forget it. He's probably long gone. I was looking up at the clock right before I was hit. It was about 1 a.m.
Now, wait a minute. That's over 8 hours ago. He could be halfway to China by now. That means he's been breathing unassisted. Now, whoever shut off that ventilator thought it would kill Steve. But since he's still in a coma, he can breathe on his own.
And George Vasquez just waltzed in here and turned off those machines right in under your nose? What the hell's going on here, Johnson? I thought you said my brother's gonna be well guarded.
He was against Vasquez.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
It means I had every door, every hallway in this hospital covered. My men had a description of Vasquez. There's no way he could have gotten in or out without being spotted.
He got in and out here once before without being spotted. Now, what happened, Johnson? Did your crack team here, was it caught napping, or is it just plain stupidity?
Max, Steve is breathing. He's alive. That's all that counts.
Yeah, no thanks to this circus of bozos.
Now listen, why don't you go in the hall and cool your heels? I want to thoroughly search this room.
What are you gonna do, look under the bed for Vasquez?
You're pushing it.
You listen to this. It's a miracle that Steve is still alive. But that doesn't excuse the fact you and your Keystone cops here screwed up royally. I want Vasquez found. I want him found now.
Max, I'm sure Detective Johnson knows exactly what he's doing. Let's go in the hall as we've been asked to.
Thank you, Mrs. Holden.
What the hell? May as well clear out of here. Let Sherlock do his work.
Sorry.
It's all right, I understand.
Mr. Vasquez, the plumber's on his way up to fix that sink you've been complaining about. Rise and shine. Mr. Vasquez. Yoo-hoo! Mr. Vasquez? Hello, police! Come quick! There's been a terrible accident!
I know I agreed to marry Joanna, but a lot has happened since my father's death. Now, I tried to explain this to Joanna last night. My feelings have changed. My whole life has changed. I know it comes as a shock, and I'm sorry that Joanna is so upset. But you know she wouldn't want to be forced into this any more than I do. And whether you like it or not, I've fallen back in love with Cassie. And if I walk down the aisle, it will be with her and not your daughter.
I strongly suggest you keep in mind that discretion is the better part of valor, as well as your assurance of a long and healthy life.
You think a veiled threat is nothing more than polite conversation. But I'm not buying it, Lord Henry. I plan on filling in Joanna in exactly what's going on.
My daughter knows nothing about the agreement.
She might be very interested to hear about it. And I'm sure that the authorities would love to know just exactly how Lord Henry Layton really earns his living.
You're a little boy who always wanted to play cricket with the big boys. Now you are. And I can assure you, it's not a game anymore. So I suggest you keep your idle threats to yourself.
Not idle, Lord Henry. Real. I know you have connections. And if you don't back off, I will take them all the way to 10 Downing Street if I have to discredit you.
I am a member of the British aristocracy. I have shared high tea with the Queen herself on numerous occasions. You would be laughed out of the country if you so much as hinted about my having connections with the underworld.
What if I could dig up some names? Names that link you directly to the mob.
You can dig clean down to China, young man, and you will not come up with a single one to suit your purpose. I am not stupid. My connections are carefully and deeply buried.
Yes. My dad said you were real good at covering your tracks. But that won't keep me from telling Joanna the truth.
That will be the biggest mistake you ever made. And your last. You have run out of options, Mr. Coronel. I seriously suggest you honor your agreement. Give up Cassie and marry Joanna.
Let me ask you something. Do you love your daughter?
Of course.
That'll make you a deal. A chance to do the right thing for Joanna's future happiness.
Oh. In desperation, the cornered animal turns and offers to bargain with his predator. You have spunk, young man. I am intrigued. Well, what's the deal?
I go to Joanna, and without mentioning you or your connection with my father, I convince her that it would be a mistake to marry me.
And how do you plan on convincing her of that?
By being honest with my feelings for her, and showing her how wrong it would be to marry me knowing that I'm in love with someone else.
And if you succeed?
You call off the bloodhounds.
Very well. You seem convinced the truth will out. And Joanna's happiness is of the utmost concern to me.
Then we have a deal?
Deal. My chauffeur's waiting. Why don't you accompany me home and put your honesty to the test?
You're on.
I want every inch of this room gone over for any hint of Vasquez having been in here.
Who else could it have been?
I'll let you know when we find it.
Can you believe this? George Vasquez could have left his calling card in there and those flatfoots wouldn't find it.
Max, I wish you would stop harassing Detective Johnson and his men. They're doing the very best they can.
Yeah, well, their best is not too good, is it?
Steve is alive, and he's breathing without the machines. What else matters?
You're right, but how many shots is Johnson going to give Vasquez? George is going to succeed sooner or later.
I think you should lay off the police. It was your idea to do this trap in the first place.
There was nothing wrong with my idea. It would have worked if Johnson hadn't botched it.
It also would have worked if Vasquez had been our man.
What?
I just found this under your brother's bed. It's his chart. The intruder must have taken it from the nurse's station.
Timmy, you saying Vasquez came in here, went to the nurse's station on this floor, and your men didn't spot him?
I am trying to tell you that Vasquez may not be our man. He probably wasn't within 5 miles of this hospital last night.
I think something snapped.
I prefer to call it doing my job. Everything indicates that this was an inside job. And I'm going to interview the nurses, the few who knew about our little ruse.
Oh, great! Terrific! Why don't you waste just a little more time, as if you haven't wasted enough? What are you going to do, play 20 questions just in case George hasn't had enough time to get out of town?
Max, please.
No, listen. I'm sorry, Gabrielle, but I've had it with this clown. Listen, Detective Johnson. Vasquez is the one after my brother. He tried to kill him twice. Now, who else would want to see Steve die?
Phone call, sir. Sounds important.
Thank you. Johnson, you have a call for me. Hello? Yeah. When? Yeah, I'll be right over. Well, Max, it looks like you got your wish. They found Vasquez.
Well, it's about time. You question him because I got a few questions for that slime myself.
Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to answer them. He's dead.
What
You mean
happened?
kill him?
I'm gonna hold back what little I know until I check this out. You two sit tight. Come on.
Well, I'm finished with the guest list. How you doing?
I think I've got the decorations just about taken care of. So, what are we going to do about a band?
Oh, darling, I bow to your infinite wisdom in that department.
Well, Rob always likes to use the Spider Heart Ragtime Slam Band. I guess I'll give them a call and see if they're available.
The Spider Heart Ragtime Slam Band?
Yeah, Slam Band.
Oh,
no, it's
band.
okay. Don't worry. They play oldies, too, like the Beatles, stuff like that.
Oh, the Beatles. Oh, well, that's before my time.
Oh, wait, I'll get that. Emma's on vacation. Who is it?
It's me, Marilyn.
Oh, no, Lordy. If they find me here, they're going to suspect something's up, and then it'll ruin the whole surprise.
Yeah, wait. Okay. I'll be right there. Hold on. Oh, okay, look, you're going to go out the service entrance. Okay. I have an appointment this afternoon right by the coffee house, so why don't I meet you there for lunch? How about 12?
12, perfect.
Okay, good. in. Hi, guys. How are you?
Where's
Fine. You still have this on your face.
Well, okay, I know you're probably on your way to work, but we wanted you to be the first to know.
Know what?
Wade and I are getting married. With Dad's blessing.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. And you too, Wade.
Where's Rob?
He's in London on business. Why?
Well, the support you and Rob gave us after the trial and after my mother's death meant a lot to us. And I've always considered you my best friend. And I would be honored if you would be my maid of honor. Nothing would make me happier than that, really.
I'd like Rob to be my best man, too.
Well, I have to tell you, I speak for both of us when I tell you the honor would be ours. Who knows, maybe you'll be returning the favor soon.
Oh, are you and Rob talking about getting remarried?
Well, not in so many words, but after all, after everything that's happened, it is the next step, right?
Oh, I could have danced all night with you.
Oh, we did, remember?
That's right. What a smashing party. What a smashing year for Vic's Barra. Do you care for some more?
I think we finished it all.
Right again. Oh, well, I'm sure Daddy has some more around here somewhere.
Joanna, I've got to go.
Why? It's early.
Yes, I know. We watched the sun come up over the Thames.
Oh, what a smashing sunrise. What a smashing river.
Something tells me you had a smashing time.
It's all because of you. Smashing, wonderful you.
Why don't you get some sleep? You must be exhausted, and I have a plane to catch.
No, please stay. I can't bear the thought of being without you. Forget about going to America. Stay here with me.
I'd love to, but I really have no choice. I have to go see my father in Landview.
Oh, pooh, that means I won't see you again until late May, and then we won't see much of each other because we'll have our hands full of wedding plans instead of each other. What? You're not having second thoughts about marrying me, are you?
What makes you say that?
The way you tensed up just now. You're not getting cold toes, are you?
No, that's cold feet. No, I'm not. I just have a lot on my mind right now.
Is it your father? Is he in some sort of trouble?
Look, I really have to go. You will have a smashing time making wedding plans, and I will take care of my father, and we will see each other in May. Our life will be good together. I promise.
Robert, I do love you. Robert, I knew it. I knew you'd come back to me.
Time to relax. Definitely time for some...
What is it, Robert?
We have to talk.
Of course, but if you're going to apologize for all the horrid things you said to me yesterday, I assure you it really isn't necessary. I've already forgiven you. Look, I know you must still have feelings for Cassie, but that's all in the past. Now that we're together, I know I can make you happier than Cassie ever could.
Joanna, please. Don't make this any more difficult for me than it already is.
I don't understand, Robert. On his way out this morning, Daddy said he talked to you. He said that you were contrite and that everything had been set straight.
Forget your father. This is between you and me.
I don't think I like your tone. You're frightening me.
Sit down. Look, first of all, I care about you. I really do. The time that we spent together is so special to me. And the last thing I ever want to do is hurt you. But you have to understand that in those months that we were separated, my life changed.
You never had any intention of marrying me, did you?
Yes, I did. I really meant to come back here and plan our lives together. But Cassie changed that.
That witch.
It's not her fault. It's not anybody's fault. It just happened. But now that it has happened, why would you want to marry me knowing that I'm in love with another woman? How could I make you happy? How can we plan a life together? Joanna, you are a lovely, lovely woman. And you deserve all the happiness in the world. I can't give it to you.
Because of Cassie?
No, because we were just never meant to be.
I've always loved you, Robert. I always will. Enough to set you free.
Joanna.
Please, take it. I only ask that you stay in London a few more days so I can have time to make it appear to my friends that it was I who broke off the engagement.
Sure. You'll tell your father that we had this talk?
Yes. I'll make sure he understands. Now, please leave, Robert.
Thank you, Joanna. Not many women would be so understanding.
Your happiness is my only concern. You'll be happy, all right, Robert Coronel. But in my bed, where you belong.
How is he doing?
No change. But he's doing fine. Breathing and heartbeat perfectly normal.
Matt, over. Drop it.
Can't. I wanted Vasquez tracked down like the dog he is. I wanted to watch him squirm and then fry for what he did to Steve.
And would that have brought Steve back to us?
Guess not.
Look, Vasquez is dead. Isn't that some sort of justice?
Yeah, but who did it? What if there was someone else involved? What if Vasquez was just a hitman? I mean, maybe that's why he was killed, because the botched his chance of getting at Steve. Maybe there's someone else coming after him, a little more professional. It's not going to blow his assignment.
I really think you're reading more into this than there is. At least let's wait until we have some more concrete answers.
Any word from Johnson?
Not yet.
What have you been doing? Sitting in the waiting room reading magazines?
Mr. Holden, I assure you we're doing all we can.
Like what?
Like questioning all authorized personnel in charge of Steve's case. Anyone who knew about the switcheroos.
You're wasting your time. Vasquez was the one after Steve. He's looking for the guy that killed him, not going after some half-baked theory.
That's not such a half-baked idea. There's a lot of complicated equipment in here. Whoever came in here last night knew exactly what they were doing. He or she shut off that ventilator without tripping the alarm. And they also shut off the EKG without setting that alarm off.
So Vasquez did his homework this time, that's all.
Mr. Holden, phone call outside for you. You can take it at the desk.
Thanks. Max Holden.
It's me, Johnson. You asked me to keep you posted.
What'd you find?
Vasquez, with a bullet in his head.
Any sign of the killer?
Yeah, he's here with a gun in his hand.
Who is it?
Vasquez.
Are you saying he committed suicide?
It looks that way. But I'm gonna go over this room for clues. I'll let you know what I find.
Thanks.
Suicide?
I guess Vasquez thought he did Steve in. Decided to pull the plug on himself rather than face the music.
Horrible.
He took the coward's way out. Figures.
Max, I know you wanted Vasquez to come to justice, but he's dead now. It's over. This can all be settled and we can go on with our life.
Find anything?
Yeah, nothing but personal belongings, couple of books, rent receipts, that kind of stuff.
Sir, I found this crumpled up and stuck behind the bathroom sink.
Oh, damn, that's how he slipped past us. We weren't looking for a guy in a wig and a mustache.
Seems like Holden was right all along.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the smug look on his face when I tell him about this.
So now what?
Well, I guess we wrap it up. We found what we were looking for.
Coroner Russ's report on Vasquez, just like you asked.
Thanks. Wait a minute. What have we here? It looks like this department is doing a first-rate job after all, despite Max's opinion.
You want me to get him on the phone, please?
Oh, no. This is too good to do over the phone. I'm going to take this down to the hospital and show him in person. That smug look of his will fade faster than a pair of faded blue jeans.
When you have trouble falling asleep, take...
Sorry, am I late?
No, you're right on time. I was a little early. I hope you don't mind I took the liberty of ordering us both a special.
Oh, perfect. Now, where were we when we were almost caught by our guest of honor?
Well, I think we have just about everything taken care of. I did notice that Vicky isn't on the guest list, and I think that she is close with Mary Lynn. She should be invited, her and Clint, and Ace is fond of her also, so I... Oh, Renee, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Oh, no, darling. It's all right.
No, it is not all right. That was really thoughtless of me not to remember your problem with Asa. I'm sorry.
It's not so much a problem as it is a mystery. Oh, Lordy, the sleepless nights I've spent trying to understand why anyone would believe that I would try to drug Asa.
Well, obviously, Asa didn't believe it, or else he wouldn't have pulled so many strings to have the charges against you dropped.
I'm afraid he does believe it. That's why he refuses to talk to me. Also, I don't know if you know this, but he wanted me to leave town and start a new life somewhere else. Cassie, darling, could we put the party aside for a moment? Because I have a very big favor I want to ask of you.
Sure.
I didn't drug Asa, and whoever did might still be doing it. I need your help, your professional help. I want to expose whoever's trying to harm Asa. I still love that man, and I can't stand to think that somebody might still be drugging him to death.
No, I would be more than happy to help you. Well, let me think. Where do we start? All right, do you have any idea of who it might be?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, that's the problem. And I suppose you won't believe me any more than Tom does.
You talked to Tom about this?
Yes. Can I trust you? Will you keep an open mind and not think my theory too preposterous?
No, that is part of my job. Now, I have got to look at every angle and every possibility. So go ahead, you can tell me. Who do you think is drugging Asa?
Bo Buchanan.
I'm sorry, Steve. I tried. I really tried. I wanted Vasquez to rot in jail for the rest of his life for what he did to you. He took matters in his own hands, and there's nothing I could do to stop it. Thank God he didn't finish what he started. As long as you're here and you're still breathing, there's a chance you can come back to us. Now, don't you give up. You keep fighting, little brother. You got that? See, you're the only family I got. I love you. I want you to come back to me again.
Oh, Max, I've got something here you might find interesting.
I doubt it.
Please, Detective, go on.
Let's step out in the hall.
What do you got? Apology for wasting time?
No, actually, it seems I was right. Vasquez was not our man of the hour last night.
He had to do it.
This coroner's report proves differently.
George Vasquez, male, Hispanic, yeah, blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. Gunshot wound to the head, apparent suicide. Yeah, big deal, so what?
So look at the time of death.
What is it?
Approximately 7 p.m.
6 hours before the plug was pulled. There is no way Vasquez could be responsible for this.
This got to be a mistake.
Our coroner is top-notch. He could be off on the time of death by a half hour either way. But there is no way Vasquez could have pulled the plug on that ventilator.
Maybe we're wrong about the time of the attack.
No, because I distinctly remember looking at the clock. It was 1 a.m.
She's right. The nurses check Steve every 15 minutes. The last check was 12:50.
This is nuts. If it wasn't Vasquez, then who? I mean, who else would want Steve dead, and why?
There might be somebody on the staff who believes in euthanasia and felt that Steve would be better off dead than on a life support system.
That's possible, but there are other patients on the ICU who are worse off than Steve. Why not one or all of them?
So who wanted Steve dead?
Gabrielle?
What?
Well, you're Steve's wife. Was there anyone whose path he might have crossed the wrong way? Someone who wanted to settle a score with him?
No, I can't think of anyone.
Max?
I wish I could give you a list, but Steve wasn't the kind of guy that made enemies.
Well, at least we're not back to square one. We know whoever did this was familiar with the hospital equipment, and he was probably here all the time last night. So we fall back and take it one step at a time.
What's the next step going to be?
I'll let you know that after I take it, not before.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means I'm the detective, not you. I'm trained not to go off half-cocked before all the facts are in. It's a lesson you could stand to learn.
I don't need a lecture from you, Johnson. My brother was almost killed last night, and I want to know what you're going to do about it.
Max, please.
Mrs. Hogan, are you all right?
What do you think?
If I may be so bold, I've grown quite fond of you over the past few weeks. As a friend, of course.
Yes, of course. I apologize for Max. He has a tendency to overreact.
Well, I'm not entirely blameless. I do let it get to me. It's very unprofessional and makes things worse. But I want you to know that I want what you want. I want to find the man responsible for this.
But how?
I'm not sure. But I'm going to keep at this until I land this fish. That's a promise.
So I found out from his boss that Mr. Kaiser had just upped and quit without so much as a fare-thee-well. So I got his address, and I went over and I tried to find him. I figured that this is the man who claimed that he'd sold me the drug that they'd found in Ace's blood, and maybe he could give me some answers.
So what did he say?
Nothing.
He wouldn't talk?
No, he wasn't there. He just moved without informing his landlady. Just packed up and headed for the hills.
End of trail.
Not exactly. I found this in Mr. Kaiser's apartment.
$10,000?
Yes. I think that whoever is trying to drug Asa paid Mr. Kaiser to point the accusing finger at me and to hightail it out of town.
And you think this person is Bo?
Yes, unfortunately, I do. You know, right from the beginning, Bo acted as if I was some kind of pariah. I mean, he didn't want me around Asa. He was against the wedding right from the beginning, and I used to wonder why he was trying to get rid of me. Now, I think I know.
Can I be honest with you?
Please.
Bo is a good friend, as well as the whole Buchanan family. I find it very hard to believe that he is the villain in this whole piece. But I also really want to protect Asa's life and your reputation. So I am not afraid of any skeletons I might find in the Buchanan closet.
Oh, Cassie, darling, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cassie! Hi, what are you two doing here? We were going over plans for your wedding. Renee asked me to lend a hand.
Yes, there's a lot to do before next Wednesday, and we have the fitting for your gown in the morning. Cassie's offered to come along and look over the details.
I did? Oh, yes, I did. In fact, I'm going shopping with you afterwards for things for your honeymoon.
Oh, well, I'd love the company, but...
Oh, great.
Really...
Well, then tonight I'll call you later and we'll set a time. Speaking of time, gotta run.
Ah, me too. Have a good soda, you two.
Ciao.
Bye.
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 What was that all about?
I don't know. I sure left in a hurry.
Think they're up to something?
Probably. But who cares? All I can think about is what we'll be up to the next couple of weeks as man and wife.
Private eye extraordinaire. However, I hate tracking down people when I don't have to, so make it easy on me, okay? Leave your name, phone number, the time you called, and a brief message. But first, wait for that annoying beep that bores through your brain like the sound of a dentist drill. Thanks.
Who writes your material, lady? It's me, Rob. It's so nice to hear your voice, even if it is pre-recorded. Call me as soon as you get in. I've got great news. I left the number on the desk. See it? No, on the other side. Sorry, I had to do that. Anyway, call. I love you.
Feel fresh.
Oh. Hey, listen. Why don't you go lie down and try and relax?
Relax? How can I relax when someone's trying to kill Steve?
Look, take it easy, all right?
I look at every doctor, every nurse, every orderly that walks by here. I think, is that the one? Did they try and do this to Steve? Are they just waiting for the next chance? I hate this place. I hate everything that's happened here, and I hate waiting for the next shoe to drop.
I know it's rough, but what can we do?
We can go home, and we can take Steve with us.
What do you mean home? Back to your ranch?
No, I never want to see that place again. If it weren't for that ranch, Steve never would have come to Arizona, and he wouldn't be in that bed right now. Max, I want to take him back to Lambview.
But what about the investigation?
I don't give a damn about the investigation. I just want to know that Steve is going to be safe. And I am sick of going to sleep at night only to wake up to an alarm that tells us someone else is trying to kill him.
I'm with you on that one. Doctors and nurses in Lambview must be as good as they are here.
So then it's agreed?
Excuse me. I just wanted you to know, I asked the personnel department to compile a list of doctors, nurses, orderlies, kitchen staff, everyone who was here last night. We'll start at the top of the list, and we'll interview each one of them. If we come up empty-handed, we'll just dig deeper.
Max.
We're taking Steve back to Lambview. We're tired of using him for a target. As soon as we can make the arrangements, we're going to get out of here.
I see.
But listen, I do not want you to pull out on this investigation. I'll give you a number where you can reach me.
Sure. I'll keep you posted.
Thanks. Listen, I want to go talk to Dr. Brady and see if I can get the wheels in motion.
Thank you.
Is this all right with you?
Yes.
Well, I can't say that I blame you, or that I won't miss you, but I do wish you the best. I hope you get whatever it is you want.
Thank you, Detective.
I'll be in touch.
It's great to hear your voice, even if it is pre-recorded. Call me as soon as you get in. I've got great news. I left the number on the desk. See it? No, on the other side. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, call. I love you. Hello?
I love you, too.
Who is this?
The transatlantic operator. Who do you think it is?
Wait, is this the prettiest girl in Lambview?
You're sweet.
I know.
You're also modest. So, what's the good news?
Well, top of the list is I am coming home.
That's great. When?
A couple of days.
Oh, shoot. Rob, we are throwing a surprise party for Wade and Mary Lynn. They're getting married next Wednesday.
That's terrific news, Cass. Give them my best.
Well, I think they'd like to hear that from you. Wade would like you to be his best man.
Me?
Yes. Oh, you know what? When he asks you, though, I think this is supposed to be a surprise, so act surprised, all right?
Sure.
So, any chance of you getting home any earlier?
Don't count on it. I've still got a few loose ends to tie up, but I will be home in time for the wedding, so tell Wade he can count on me to be his best man.
I'm going to be Mary Lynn's maid of honor.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I guess it'll be good practice for us, huh? Just in case. Well, just in case.
Cassie, there's a lot I want to talk to you about, but I don't want to do it over the phone. I want to wait until we can sit down together face to face.
Rob, I wasn't pushing you toward a commitment or anything like that. I was just kind of kidding.
I know that. But there are a lot of things we have to talk about. But anyway, I got to get going, and I'll see you in a couple of days.
Right.
And Cassie, I meant it when I told you I love you more than anything in the world.
I really, really needed to hear you say that. The way you left for London, it was so weird. I felt like there was really something wrong between us.
Well, we've had our rough times, but from now on, nothing will ever get between us again. See you soon.
And be sure to personally contact all those who've been invited to tomorrow's luncheon and inform them that it's been cancelled.
Very well, madam.
Did I hear correctly?
About the luncheon? Yes, it's off.
Well, I knew Robert was determined to cancel your engagement. I'd no idea you would allow it.
What could I do? He was so persistent.
Is this my daughter? Is it possible you're willing to give up the one thing you wanted ever since you met this chap?
I said I allowed Robert to call off the engagement. I did not say I was giving up on him. Far from it. Canceling the luncheon is merely my way of buying the time I need to execute the new plan I've come up with to win back Robert's affections.
Now, that's my little girl talking.
But I can't do it alone, Daddy. Will you help me?
Haven't I always?